Hey friends, welcome. All right, so today is really about going from limited to limitless. The difference between people who succeed and receive what they desires and those who don't is that those who create the desires that they have essentially don't let their contractions, their wounds, their fears take the lead. They actually use those fears, those wounds, those contractions as pathways towards expansion and freedom. So, this training that I'm doing has two parts. Today, I'm going to give you a very simple way to discover exactly what's in your way, the blocks, the wounds, the fears that are keeping your nervous system constricted and that are holding you back and sabotaging your efforts and your progress. And then I'm going to come back in a few days and we're going to do part two, and I'm going to actually take you through a 5-step process to help you heal and make whole every fear, every wound, every contraction, and even trauma that is coming to the surface and holding you back. I'm going to help you liberate your nervous system so that you can unlock the results that you desire. So that's the plan. So today I'm going to kind of give you an intro. I'm going to give you 2 questions, and then in a few days I'll come back and take you through a process. But today you're going to have homework. So don't skip today to just move towards the process. You need today to know what you're working with and what you're working on. Before I start, I want to take a minute to introduce myself. Hi, if you're new here, I'm Ilsa. Please say hi to me. Let me know in the comments how this training impacted you or what you discovered. Those kinds of comments they always mean a lot to me, and I will get back to you. For the last 22 plus years, I've worked with hundreds of clients as a psychotherapist, as a healer, as an expansion expert, and a strategist. I marry neurology, energy, identity, and strategy to help leaders and business owners tame any kind of internal and external chaos and help them rewire their nervous system, their brain, their bodies, and their businesses for easeful growth, consistent results, and exciting new levels of emotional and financial freedom. So for me, it's all about growth and expansion without any of that friction, without overwhelm, without self-doubt, without self-sabotage, or without sacrificing what matters most to you. And if you want to go deeper in this work and you want more ease and joy in your own success journey, then you're in the right place. And you can look at how to go deeper working with me by checking the description of this training. You're going to see a couple different ways for us to work together, some free, some paid. Okay, let's get started. So, when we feel unsafe, when parts of us are stuck in limitation, they're stuck in some kind of trauma, they're stuck feeling not good enough or worthy, then our nervous system starts to contract and the flow starts to constrict. And that's both the flow of our own internal inspiration, creativity, energy, and also the external flow of opportunities and results. When that happens, when our nervous system contracts, there's like this kind of armoring that shows up inside us. And it's that armoring, that closing, that creates an interruption, a blockage in the flow. And it keeps us stuck in frozenness and in patterns of protecting ourselves instead of using our energy to create, to thrive, to shine. So that armoring in your nervous system essentially will resist change, it will resist growth, and it will actually push results away. So the big work here is to make everything inside you that feels unsafe, safe. Anything inside you that feels not ready or unworthy, feel not only worthy, but completely ready. The work here is to free and liberate every part of you from the wounds and the limited stories that have kept you bound, have kept you doubting yourself, and have kept you doubting your worth. And through this process, essentially, we heal and we make whole all the limitations, all the woundedness, all the traumas that have kept us playing small, hiding out, and have kept our income capped. The aim of this work is to shift out of contraction into regulation, relaxation, and then liberation and expansion. And your degree of openness and somatic expansion at any given time is what defines your capacity and your ability to achieve, receive, and hold what you desire. Your business, the results you create, and how you create them, meaning like how much ease, how much joy, how much nourishment you feel in the process of creating them, all of that is an extension of you. And you will never outgrow or move past the limitations that are held in your own system. As you expand you, your business and your results essentially expand. As you repair and you restore your inner flow, then your outer flow is restored. So if you feel stuck in a smaller version of yourself, then your business and your results also stay stuck in a smaller version of themselves. What you create and what you allow yourself to receive is always a reflection, an expression, a mirror of your own level of expansion. So the first step to creating what you desire in your life, in your business, and the first step to scaling your finances is to actually discover what's in the way of your growth. What are the stories? What are the fears? What are the beliefs? What are the wounds that are keeping you from becoming the version of you who gets everything he or she wants and gets to experience ease, flow, clarity, confidence as you grow? So in working with hundreds, actually maybe thousands of clients at this point, I have found that there's two very specific kinds of blocks. The first comes in the shape of limiting thoughts or limiting stories about what is possible for you, about your own capacity, your own ability, your own worthiness, and also like limiting stories about the world. Essentially, this first block is about why we think we can't have what we want, or why we think it's going to be hard and take a lot of time and effort for us to create what we want. A lot of these stories are externally based in terms of what's wrong with the world or what's happening in the world, or they're internally based in terms of what's missing or not enough in us. So that's the first type of block, limiting stories. The second type of wounds are more subtle and they're more insidious. And those are usually fears related to the cost of achieving our dreams and goals. Essentially, subtle wounds, subtle traumas held in the body around how success is unsafe for us. And these type of blocks, they go very deep, since they're really very much directed and related to your safety, to your sense of belonging, and to your sense of survival. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to give you 2 questions today that you can ask yourself that will help you essentially see what blocks, what wounds, what fears are holding you back and leading you to doubt yourself, to feel overwhelmed, and to resist and sabotage your progress. And your homework before we meet again in a few days for part 2 is to journal on these 2 questions and to come up with a list of those internal and external blocks and those fears that are actually getting in the way. And then in 5 days, I don't know that it's going to be in 5 days actually. In a few days, my week is a little crazy. In a few days, I will come back and I'm going to take you through a 5-step process to essentially heal and transform these blocks and to help you come out of that sense of contraction into relaxation, liberation, and expansion. So here are the 2 questions. We're going to deal with the first one, which is associated to that first type of block. So when you think about creating the results you want in your life, in your business, in your relationship, in your health, or whatever, what do you believe is in the way and will make it a hard or slow process? Essentially, what is it that you need or that would need to be in place that you don't currently have? And so this could be anything from like internal stuff, like I'm not magnetic enough, or it could be external stuff, like my audience is too small, or I don't have the right people in my audience, or people don't have money right now. It could be something about your business specifically. My offer isn't clear. My message isn't captivating enough. My price is too high or too low or whatever. Like it's something that you're defining is not going well or is broken, either inside you or externally. It could even be, I'm not pretty enough. Like I have definitely had that one. Or I'm too shy, or I'm too introverted, or something that you perceive is lacking or broken either inside you or outside of you that's going to make things hard, difficult, effortful, or slow. So let me ask the question again so you have it. When you think about creating the results you want, what do you believe is in the way or missing that will make it hard and will make it slow? What do you need that you don't have? So at this level, these first blocks, these first limiting beliefs, they tend to be around our work, around ourselves, around the world. They're essentially that. They're stories that we tell ourselves that make things feel hard or far away, but they're not related to our safety. So because of that, they're maybe frustrating, but there's less of a sense of fear associated with them. But even though they're not associated to our safety, they still feel very real as obstacles to our success. One of my favorite one that I used to say all the time, and I have to tell you, I still believe that somehow, is the algorithm hates me. Like, I need the algorithm to show my stuff to more people. This is a story that I have told myself to keep me small, to keep me feeling victimized, to keep me feeling not enough. So that's the first kind of question. Second type of question. When you think about creating the results you want, why might it be a bad idea or dangerous for you if you're able to succeed? If you got what you want, how might it affect your well-being or your life negatively? And another way of saying it, and one last way of saying it, is what might be the negative consequences or the cost to getting what you want. So when you think about creating the results you want, why might it be bad? Bad for you to actually have what you want. So there's, at this second level, we're really starting to delve into safety issues. And more than likely, there is, and here's the thing I will say, I haven't met a single person that doesn't have some of those at each level. So we all have them. There's probably some part of you that feels scared or unsafe with the downfall of your desire and what that might create if you achieve it. And here are some common examples. That first one, actually, I'm looking at my notes. I've had, not quite the last one, but I've had almost all of them that I've worked through in myself. But if I enrolled more clients, I'm going to lose my freedom. Or if I grow and scale my business, I'm going to feel totally overwhelmed and have no free time for myself, and I'm going to lose my free time, my freedom. If I become known or successful, I'm going to attract judgment or criticism, or I'm going to be challenged or attacked by others. Or if I make that much money, then my family's going to resent me and reject me. I won't be able to connect to people. I won't be able to relate to my friends or my family, and I'll be rejected. So you can see how now these fears, they're more about your safety. They're more about your sense of belonging. They're more about essentially survival that is really deeply anchored in the nervous system. It's something in us that believes that if we claim our bigness, we will be vulnerable, or we will be hurt, or we will be punished in some kind of way. And these wounds, these blocks, because they're so deep-seated and they're insidious, they're very important to heal and to liberate, because they will get in the way. They will get in the way of you being able to get to where you want to be. So the beauty of this is that once you've got a list, you know exactly what are the stories you're telling yourself, which feel very true, the limiting beliefs about yourself, about the world, about your audience, about your offer, about your business, about your marketing, whatever, that are getting in the way of you getting to that next level. And you will also have a sense of all the different fears and survival patterns, some of which might not even be yours, some of which might have been passed down, or they're held in our collective, that are actually getting in your way. Once you have that list of what's in the way, then you actually get to use the very things that seemed in your way to free you. And that's what we're doing. This is the point of this. So the first part here, what we're doing today, is insight. I want you to have a list and have some clarity as to, oh, I feel that way. I believe that way. I've had that thought. Of course, I'm not allowing myself to grow. Of course, I'm not allowing myself to receive the results I'm working so damn hard to try to create. And then in a few days, I will show you how to use the things that are in the way to free you, to liberate you, to actually, how the things that are in the way actually never are in the way. They are the way to your next level. And meanwhile, if you want to go deeper in this, in rewiring your nervous system, your brain, your body, your business for more, then I'm here for you. If you want support discovering, claiming, anchoring your unwavering ground of safety, of capacity, of sovereignty in your life, in your business, in your finances, then it would be my great honor to put my 22 plus years of experience as a psychotherapist, healer, expansion expert, and strategist to work for you. And if you're interested in doing that or checking this out, just look at the description of this training. You're going to find a few ways for us to go deeper. Some free, some paid, some like one of them is short term, like just doing one 90-minute intensive together, which you get at a significant discount, by the way, if you're new to this work. And then some are more long term. I have something in there for most people so you can dive a little deeper. All right. See you in a few days.